Hey everybody, it is Yuki once again giving you guys today's episode of Rules Showcase. And for this showcase, we're going to be explaining some rules I am bringing over from Nimble 5e to this campaign. Today's rules I'm going to go over covering as well as elevation and held actions. As you guys can see, I am going to run some scenarios today. Keep in mind that in this particular show, the scenarios that I'm going to play out are only going to be explaining the rules. Anything that you see here will not, may or may not happen during the actual episode. With for this particular case, what you're going to see will be for episode 2 when I implement the rule. So this could happen, this might not happen, but it depends on how the game flows at that point. Remember, it's a tabletop role playing game. So let's go ahead and run some scenarios of we're going to go for elevation first because that's the easier one to explain. So as you can see, we have this lineup here where if we take a look at it, this scenario, I would be going last. Kyle will go first. Toxie is second, and I'm last in the hero. The reason why is if we remember a review in Nimble, whoever is ready first goes first, or in this case, whoever is clockwise first goes first. On the clock, 12 o'clock is straight up. So Kyle is 12 o'clock, Toxie is 3 o'clock, I am 9 o'clock. So 12, 6, 9. I mean, excuse me, 12, 3, 9. So that's the order. Because the shell laws are in the same, in nearly the same area, it will be this one over here going first because that is going to be 3 o'clock, and then this one is 9 o'clock. If you look at it from the clock, actually, no, it's this one first because if you do the perspective of the other one, of the other way. So let's go ahead and explain elevation. In tabletop role playing games, you're going to notice that a lot of players are going to try to get the high ground or as well as the cover. The reason being is strategy. Because you want to make sure you're in a better position to play, to do your move, whatever you want to attack with, you want to make sure you have the upper hand when it comes to positioning and what you want to do next. Keep in mind that even if it's not your turn, you want to think about your positioning, especially when you play an actual game of TTRPG like Fallout or even Nimble. There's actually going to be a game with Nimble that I want to run with our players. An actual Nimble, not Pokemon. Okay, so I want to try that out. So Kyle would be first, Toxie will be second in the heroes. After his turn, it will be me. So let's go ahead and start our combat round. We had done our initiative already, so we're good. Kyle would normally be able to attack with Ember. I will tell you he is level 2 right now. That's all I can say though. Normally you can attack with Ember at this range, at 10 feet. However, as you can see, he is not at the same elevation. How can we tell this? Because this rock formation that we are standing on currently is actually 5 feet away from that Shellos. How can we tell? Because as you can see, the drawing is very well done, and you can see that there is a bridge, kind of like a platform thing. We can go down. So Kyle decides to take this bridge thing to go down over here. Okay, keep in mind if there is shadows, that is shade. That is the shade. All right. because this shade is reflecting off this rock. So Kyle's turn now, because he is on the same elevation as this Shellos, he can now use Ember. And Ember in my game is a D8 or a D10. He gets a 3, and then he will roll normally for the second one. That is a 2, and then that is a 1. He misses on the third. That's okay. So that's his turn. Toxie is going to go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's put him. Let's put him with Kyle, and that's fine. And then my turn. Let's go. Me. I go over here. Now I am 5 feet down from that rock formation. According to here, let's see what we got here. Now this Shellos cannot attack me yet because he's not in my lane, in my range here. He's not in my range because if we draw the thing here, it's going to be over here. I'm not there. I am over here. He needs to be over here to attack me here. So let's go to Shellos A to start for our rule. So I explained elevation. Almost. I'll go back to another example in a bit. But now I want to show you guys cover. So this Shellos is number 2. Actually, let me go to one first. The first one is going to move closer to here. Now, this example, it looks like he's behind a little rock. He's not. Not yet, at least. So he's going to move again, but this time he's going to go over here. Technically speaking, he is now behind cover because I'm going to take up the advantage of the upper square as cover. So he's in cover. Okay? Now, if you played Mario and Rabbids, Kingdom Battle, or anything like that, you know that in cover you can actually do something called a hold action, which I'm going to explain in a moment. But I do want to start talking about the cover rule. So this Shellos is going to cover, half cover. This Shellos is going to go over here. Now you may have noticed that bridge, that little ramp there. He's going to go into half cover now. He's not going to go upstairs. So they cannot attack because they are now in cover. But if you have a ranged attack, you can. And I'm going to show you guys now how we can start doing that. But first, let's have the heroes try to attack. Kyle is first because that's the rule here. He wants to tackle. In theory, over here, he could. He could even Ember if he wanted to. However, remember he's in half cover. This particular Shellos over here is in half cover. That means if Kyle wants to attack, he does it with the first die being his normal die, which for Ember in this game is a D10. The 1d10. However, according to Nimble's rules, with half cover, he needs to add one more, and that's going to be with a disadvantage. So he's rolling 2d10 on his first try, when normally he would only roll 1. So here we go. And with disadvantage, you take the lower number. In this case, the lower number is 3. So Kyle will deal 3 points of damage to the Shellos. And if he wants to attack again, we add one more because normally you would add one for nimble rules to attack with stacking disadvantage, and then you have to do that disadvantage for cover, for half cover. So that's 3 dice. He gets very unlucky here with 2-1. He can go one more time with double disadvantage plus single disadvantage for the regular roll. So he rolls 4d10. And he does the lowest number is 7. So 7 points of damage. He got very incredibly lucky there. And that will be his turn. So I explained half cover. Now I want to explain full cover. So we're going to go ahead and skip toward a few more turns. This Shalos decides to go to full cover. As you can see, the rock is covering his view and he's in full cover. That does not mean he cannot be attacked though. Remember, Toxie has a move called Water Gun, but not in this episode yet. I'm just running it so that it makes sense. He can actually hit the boulder or the rock, and some of the rock could like could right split off and attack the Shalos for damage if he knows what he's doing. Remember, we're playing with players here. Let's see if he's in range. If I go this way, he could be in range. I'm gonna give it to him though. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to him if he attacks this way. So he's gonna try to attack. Now on the first hit, remember you deal with one die. However, with full cover, you have double disadvantage right off the rip. So you start with rolling 3 dice, and water gun is D10. So 3 dice is going to be a 2. That's a 2. Now, if he wants to attack again, he can, but he needs to add another dice with D10, and it's going to be 3 points of damage. And if he wants to attack again with the 3 action points, he could. But now it's 5 dice. The first 3 are from Nimble because of stacking disadvantage. The other 2 are for full cover. And the number is going to be 5. So 5 points of damage. So he hits 3 water guns. The first one hits the rock, and the Shalos is behind it, dealing damage. And I will continue to explain it. That's full cover. Now let's talk about the last thing that I want to try to add, and that is held action. That's a held action. So, and I want to explain high ground as well. Let's talk about held action. The way that I want to present it in this game. So, if you ever played a game called Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, it's like a D&D kind of thing. There's an action where you can actually hold your action and attack from cover the enemy in your range. I'm going to flip the script here. I am going to advance battle to where um this Shalos is over here, Toxie is over here. I am over here in full cover, actually in half cover. The way this works in Rabbits, Mario Rabbits, is you have to be in half cover, left or right. Full cover, you stay put. You don't be able to do anything other than move and wait for somebody to be in your range. But here in half cover, I can attack. It's called a hold action. So when I say I'm going to hold my action and I'm going to hold my aura sphere, I am getting ready to attack. That's what I'm trying to convey with the DM. But in this case, the DM is actually myself. I'm also playing as a character, Francis the Riolu. So I am conveying to my players that hey, I'm going to hold my action to Aura Spear whoever comes into my range, which is 30 feet. So I could theoretically attack this way, 30 feet, or attack this way, 30 feet, or attack this way, 30 feet in some cases. If I wanted to, also assuming that they are also in my elevation. That's another word. So I'm going to also advance this Shalaspi over here, trying to attack Toxie. Kyle is going to move over to here. Now what I'm waiting for is a correct angle to attack this Shalos over here or this Shalos over here. So technically right now it's my turn. So I am going to hold my action and then when it's time I'm going to use it. Here's the caveat. The caveat is holding your action costs no action point. However, once you hold your action and the target is in range, I'm going to use one action point to play my hold action, which is my Aura Spear attack. So it is now the Shallow's A turn, B turn. He's going to try to move. He's going to try to move to attack Kyle. So he's going to go this way, and to attack Kyle. But remember, Francis has a hold action of Aura Spear. The moment that the Shallows goes into here, that's in my range. That's in my range, buddy. You're in my range, boy. So what's going to happen is I'm going to use my held action point to attack the Shallows with D10 and with advantage because I'm in cover. I'm the one in cover now. I have advantage. He does not. So I get to roll 2d10, take the higher number. If the higher number is 10, it counts as a critical hit. And the higher number is 6. It's no, excuse me, 7. So just by holding that action, I just throw my Aura Sphere at him for 7 points of damage. Now, my turn is not, now because it's not my turn, I still lose that action point for my next turn. If, for some reason, then this Shalos does not go after Kyle. Now, this Shalos is going to continue his move to Kyle to attack him normally. There's no advantage because he's not in cover, and there's no disadvantage unless he gets the normal action point play. Okay, but remember, he is down 7 HP because of the Aura Spear held. Keep in mind that it's not that I'm still holding my action. I still can hold my action for another hit. That stays up until it's my turn. I'm trying to take it from Mario and Rabbids. So this Shalos, I'm going to say he does 3 attacks. So the first one misses, the second one hits for 3 damage, and the third one is going to be for miss. He misses on the third one. Now, Shalos B is going to try. He says, I don't like Toxie. I don't want to hit Toxie. I'm going to hit Kyle. But wait a second. Remember what I just said a few moments ago? My held action is until my next turn. So, that means this Shellos has no escape because if I decided to have the DM move this way, that's fine. But to get to Kyle, he needs to move this way and then hit this way. But wait a moment. He has to cross one more obstacle. Who is in range of my He is in range of my held aura spear. I get to go again. Now, this time around, I get a choice. Do I want to do it or do I not do it? It's like an attack of opportunity. But keep in mind, I have to use one action point for that play to work. But I roll with advantage. But it's two dice instead of the normal two, instead of normal regular stuff. I'm gonna say yes. Now, keep in mind, I have to remember I only get one more action point at the start of my next turn. I don't get three back. I only use one. So I'm gonna go ahead and attack him. So, oops, wrong dice. So I deal 5 damage because 5 and 5 are the same. So 5 damage to this shell loss. Now you might be wondering, wait a second. There's another spot where I can hit Rim, and that is over here. Let me just make sure. No, not move me. No, never mind. It needs to be over here for the other one. So this Charlos is going to attack Kyle. So what I just did, what I just presented, is cover, advantage, plus held action. All right. There is one more thing I want to show off in terms of the rule set, and that is elevation plus. What am I talking about? So what I've been showing you is elevation when the target is downstairs. I have not presented upstairs. So let's go ahead and run another scenario. So let's go ahead over here. I am gonna put myself. I am gonna be the one over here. Charlos is gonna be over here. This one is gonna be with Toxie. So it is now my turn again. This time I used the bridge thing to go up. So I'm uppies. Okay, uppies. I am now about 10 feet higher than I was about a few moments ago. That means I have what they call high ground. Duh. Now high ground has something as a few benefits. You can attack from the higher ground. Now you don't get advantage though because it's not covering. It just so happens that you're higher ground. So as long as you're in range with the target, you can hit. In this case, I could hit this Shellos because he is 5 feet below me. I cannot, however, hit that Shellos. First of all, yes, he is downstairs, but he's not in my range of like the same line. So if you do not have line of sight, you don't get to. I only get to play with this one. But no advantage will be given because that's not covering. If, however, there was stairs and there was like a rail where there's an opening and I was 5 feet higher than the one that's downstairs, then yes, I would consider myself getting advantage because there is cover with the other side of the rail. So the whole thing of how you make your maps also draws you into effect of elevation. How high are you in terms of elevation in the map? So in this case, I would go ahead and try to hit this thing for 4 damage with the aura spear. Now you cannot do tackle because if you do tackle here, that means two things. Number one, you lose the ability of high ground because you're in a high ground. you have the advantage of I see something inside and I have a long range attack, you you can theoretically attack from there all day. But if you use tackle and try to attack the Shellos, because you are tackling from 10 feet high or 5 feet higher, the moment you tackle, you're landing on the same elevation. All right? So, with elevation, let's just say I do that. With that being said, I'm going to say tackle. So I lose that high ground. I'm going to land over here. Now we're in the same elevation. I do not get the advantage of attacking from high ground. I do get to attack though with tackle. However, there's another thing. I still get my 3 attacks, but the second attack on the ground is with disadvantage because I'm using 2 action points. I'm using my second action point because attacking could cost 1. If I stayed up here, I can attack there from all day if I want to. 3 Aura Spears. Here you go. And then remember about that held action rule? I can still do that. I'm going to hold my action to attack anybody in my range. I can still do that from higher ground because, as you can see here, this way, this way, this way, and that way. And anybody who's not in my team over here too. So held action and high ground was explained there. But keep in mind the way the map was built. It just so happens that this particular map from tabletop, 2 minute tabletop, um, does have cover as well as elevation. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to mention: Kyle is in cover as well. Almost. I'm gonna move him 1. Why is that? Because theoretically, those are bushes, and those provide cover as well. So he's attacking with advantage if he wants to attack with advantage. He's going to peek his head out and attack with his ember for some reason, for one reason or another. He gets advantage because he's in cover with the bushes. So you want to take advantage of anything in the map. Even it looks so small, it looks like a small mechanic. No, it's not because it's tactical. You have to be tactically aware of what the environment is. Because I can easily say about this thing right here, this is the river that is 5 feet below everything else. Or something like these things. Let's just say that some Shellos is over here. Shellos is going to go in the river. Shellos is a water type Pokemon. Okay? Now that doesn't sound like much, but keep in mind, if the DM is evil, the dungeon master is evil, and wants to incorporate environment like water, fire, or anything in on the map based on the description of map from 2 minute tabletop, he can easily give you the uh, the 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 disadvantage of the fact that the water heals water type Pokemon. For example, let's say the Shellos is in the river and we are over here. And I'm going to remove the Shellos because we don't need him. He's done. This Shellos just recovered HP. How much HP? I'm going to roll a d6. 1. And for every turn that the Shellos is in the water, he's going to recover d6 HP. This case 3. until he comes out of the water. That water buff is not going to be in unless he gets out of the water. He's going to keep recovering HP per turn. So not only did I explain cover, I explained high ground, low ground a little bit. I also explained how the covering rules work, how you roll there, and I just explained a bonus rule of the environment. So different maps have different environments that can really change the battle. Just remember, watch, listen to what the dungeon master says, because the dungeon master can give you guys hints and insight on the map if the dungeon master is very nice. Okay, if not, you have to earn it, like rolling an insight check or something like that. So that is today's rules explanation. It is a little bit of a longer video. It's like an episode of the regular one, but I wanted to go in depth on the rules just to give you guys more insight on what to expect when you watch the series and future episodes. Because each rule is different and anything can happen. That's for this one. I cannot wait to see how you guys enjoy it when episode 2 comes into play. I will tell you, I have already written episode 2, and we're going to be using this map in particular to get a little preview of what's going to happen. All right, that's all for today. If we have another rules explanation video, I will go ahead and talk about it. But all in all, that is it for this one. We'll see you when episode 2 1.5 drops later this week, and episode 2 will start recording this weekend. Enjoy, and remember, roll some dice. Take the chance and roll the dice, because you never know, it might be nice. It might get some critical hits.